All right, this video, I want to talk about ballistic reserve chutes, BRSs. With people who have Challengers like mine, it's mounted up here usually, and it's coming off, and there's got a rocket and it shoots off, and then Quicksilvers and stuff, sometimes it's down here. It could be mounted anywhere. Well, I'm sure there's certain places they mount it, but I get asked a lot about why I don't have one. Not a lot, but I've had a few people inquire. Also, there's a lot of debate about it in our world of Challengers and stuff like that. I see somebody will post, and so I figured I'd make this video to kind of give you my thoughts on it. A BRS, I believe that stands for Ballistic Reserve Systems or something. I definitely think that the comfort of having it is cool, especially if, for me, okay, not to get my tongue twisted here. For me, a person like the main pilot, if you haven't followed him yet, when you're done watching this video, go to the main pilot. He lives in Maine. I don't know whether he has a BRS or not, but I would tell you that if I were him, and I believe he has an Aerostar, not an Aerostar, but he has an ultralight that's like a Phantom, and yeah, you definitely would want one in those areas. He might not have one. He might be comfortable with what he has set up, and that's his choice, his decision. A lot of people, they make that decision based off of where they live, and another thing to take into consideration is how much they are. They are very, very, very expensive. Just repacking them can be, I don't know, a couple $1,000s or something. I've seen them for sale used before, and you know, you can get them for pretty cheap, but they're expired. So if you have one and you pay like $6,000 or $7,000 to put it on your plane, there's a few things, in my opinion. Number one, it's going to expire. You're going to have to pay money to repack it. Number two, on a Challenger, it sticks up here, and it takes away from any aerodynamics. I don't know the specifics, but it has to take away from the performance to some degree. I just can't imagine a world where something is up there and stands out up there, and it doesn't at least take away some of your performance, you know, top speed. Oh, my lips are all chapped. Also, I'm down to 233 from Carnivore, so it's working. It's actually getting so much to where the plane doesn't come down anymore. I have to move forward to start the engine, which is awesome. But anyways, back to the BRS. So I personally don't have one. The biggest thing I think that the only reason I miss it or don't, you know, would actually have one would be for structural failure. You know, say something broke or whatever. Other than that, I can't imagine pulling it. There are fields. I don't know if you saw my Stoll video, but in my Stoll video, I literally was landing in like 150 feet, like from high speed to 150 feet. So when you're flying around, if you have fields that are, you know, 500 feet and you could duck down in there, I don't see pulling the chute. It's going to do a lot of damage. You're going to land in trees probably. And that's the other thing too. You can't really control where the chute's going to bring you down. So in structural failure, yeah, it would be nice to have, but I just have faith in the plane. I do, you know, if I was somebody who didn't pre-flight or something very well, then I could see wanting to have that. But I pre-flight everything. I look at all these nuts and bolts. I mean, I am on it like crazy, looking at my Roni brackets, just everything, anything that can be structural. When I do my pre-flight, I even get up in here and I check all the bolts that are holding everything on. I touch them, I feel them, and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm not worried about structural failure. Is it for, you know, again, this is my opinion. I'm allowed to have that. If you're watching this video because you're thinking about getting one, take some things into consideration, like where you live. Are there a lot of fields? Your airplane, you know, maybe you're like, hey, I bought this plane, but it's kind of sketchy, whatever. Then feel free, get one, spend the money. You know, it's going to take away, if you buy one, make sure you do a new weight and balance, because it's going to change the weight of your aircraft. And yeah, it's completely up to everybody individually. So no, the answer to the question, I don't have one. I don't plan on getting one for this aircraft. Now, if I bought an aircraft and it had one on it, I don't think I would take it off. Just if I was getting used to flying it and it already had it on it, there's no reason to take it off, because structural failure is a possibility. Granted, small, it's a possibility. So I would definitely probably leave one on if it had it. Same with this, you know, if this came with one and it was already mounted up there, I'd probably just have it up there. you're supposed to have them repacked, but I'll tell you, back in like 05, 06, there was a guy in Arizona that had one. And so we actually shot it off, and it was pretty awesome. It was a lot more intense than I thought it would be, and it worked great. And it was 8 years expired, so it had been expired for 8 years, and we pulled it, and it was mounted to the back of a truck. It was not on an airplane, obviously. But anyways, the moral of the story is it was 8 years expired and it still works. So obviously, you know, you should keep it in date. You know, you don't want it to be expired. But I guess the moral of the story is if you have it on your plane and it's expired, it'll probably work if you pull it. You know, it will work more than likely, but I'm sure there's some insurance things and stuff that they don't want you saying that. Yeah, so I asked a few of my buddies about them, and they pretty much had the same opinion. Matter of fact, this is my buddy Mike's opinion. He sent me a video. Check it out.
All right, the question was the BRS ballistic recovery chute, the parachute. So if you have a structural failure, you can deploy it and hopefully come down and be safe. You don't land in some trees, but you know, if you're cross-country trips, if you're flying where it's open field and you got some roads you can land on, you're good. But if you have a structural failure, then that ballistic recovery chute would actually give you some safety, providing you come down in a safe area. You don't get wrapped in a power line or on top of some trees. But they are quite expensive, and then every so many years you do have to have them repacked and inspected. But I thought about putting one on. I'd have to look at the price of them. Like I said, most of the time, if you do have a problem, usually it's an engine out system and you can glide to a safe landing, and the Challenger will land in a short field area. Grab a road or open field. That's my thoughts on the BRS. Take care.
All right, Mike. See, I agree 100% with what Mike said. A lot of it depends. He might get one, but he also is doing long trips. You know, I do long trips too. Matter of fact, I just did a 90-mile trip there and back, 45 each way. And I just fly fields, you know, I just make sure I always have somewhere. And there was a time today where I got over an area where I was like, I'm a little out of my glide range. So I just started to climb. So I went up to almost 3,000 feet. And then as soon as I knew I could make the next grouping of fields, I went back down to 2,000 or 25, wherever it wasn't bumpy, you know. So matter of fact, you can see I've got all my tank and my bag and everything. And so yeah, BRSs, I think they're great. If you have it, use it. If you want to buy a new one, buy a new one. Just make sure you get it, you know, updated all the time, or, you know, whenever it expires. And again, you don't, you know, if you live in somewhere where it's all fields, why do you need it for? You know, I don't know. Structural integrity, I guess. But on their website, it says there's like 479 lives saved, but they also do the Cirrus parachutes. And I know Cirrus pilots are pulling parachutes like it's candy, just like it's something to do, from what I understand. And so I guess it says lives saved, and it probably did save lives, you know. But I guess a good question would be, did it actually save a life? Because could the person have just landed? We've all seen that video of the one where the guy lands and, you know, his parachute's out on the Cirrus and he runs into the dumpster. I don't know if you guys saw, or like a truck or a dumpster or something. You know, you don't know where the plane's going to go. And if there's a road or a field, just land in it. You know, now obviously in a Cirrus, you're going a lot faster. There's some more factors. So I kind of understand the Cirrus a little bit. But in this plane, I could land in your front yard. So yeah, I'm not going to put one on here. So if I have structural failure, I will do my best to get it on the ground as safely as possible. And if not, then I guess that's just the way it was meant to be. And it'd be a hell of a story. And hopefully the cameras are rolling if I do. And that way my kids can upload it and you guys can view it. And, but yeah, thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe. If you have any questions about, you know, my airplane or how I do things, let me know. This is not an instruction based thing. This is just for entertainment. And because I get asked about my BRS, which I don't have. So, yeah, appreciate it. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one. And one more thing, I just put the plane away. Don't be Trevor Jacobs. Don't jump out of an airplane with your parachute unless you absolutely have to. If you have a parachute, No, I would never wear a parachute in here. It's already not enough room as it is. So just thought about that. The whole Trevor Jacobs thing is a big deal. Don't be Trevor Jacobs. He's in jail. So you will be too if you did it illegally like he did. Anyways, just don't do it.